Our top story tonight, telecom companies throw up their hands over call drops, say shutting down of towers is hurting them badly, claim 800 towers in Mumbai, 500 in Delhi have been shut down in the last 6 months. All this a day before making their case in front of a parliamentary panel.
French bank BNP Paribas acquires Sharekhan, one of India's oldest brokerage houses, will shell out over 2,200 crore rupees for a 100% stake in the company.
ITDC disinvestment is not on our radar now.
In a major U-turn, Tourism Minister Mahesh Sharma says his ministry is not in favor of divesting stake in ITDC. Also says there will be no outright auctions of the 8 loss-making hotels. That's an exclusive.
हम लोग एक पूरे कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पैकेज को तैयार कर रहे हैं, सिर्फ कैपिटल नहीं.
PSU banks are in for a major booster dose tomorrow. Minister of State for Finance Jayant Sinha says a comprehensive package will be announced tomorrow. This even as North Bloc gears up to seek Parliament's nod for the first round of recapitalisation.
Expects the Congress President, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, to clarify before the whole country as to why its party is not permitting a discussion in India's parliament on the issue of national security.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley attacks Sonia Gandhi and the Congress party as Parliament remains paralysed. The parliamentary panel has tabled its report on the real estate regulator bill today.
Retail, brownfield farmer and insurance can now avail more foreign investment through the automatic route. Government sources say foreign investment cap in defence and banking sector remain the same even after the centre approved the composite FDI cap.
Reporting earnings for the first time after the ING Vyasa integration, Kotak Mahindra Bank disappoints in the first quarter. Provisions see a sharp spike, asset quality worsens.
And ITC sees cigarette sales slow down for the 9th straight quarter as revenues miss estimates, but margins expand thanks to price hikes boosting the profits.
E-commerce firm Paytm bags the BCCI's title sponsorship, will shell out over 200 crore rupees for 84 cricket matches.
Mumbai blast convict Yaqub Memon hanged to death. This after Supreme Court dismissed his second petition in the wee hours of this morning. Security beefed up across Maharashtra.
Also on the show tonight, Diageo is nursing a ban hangover over dealings with Vijay Mallya and may now take him to court. The flashpoint in a $135 million loan from Standard Chartered Bank. A special report on India Business Hour.
And Mercedes-Benz launches 3 new mean machines in India. An exclusive conversation with the company's India head is also coming up.
Dr. Kalam was not merely the president, but he was to every Indian a role model and an ideal citizen.
श्रीमान अब्दुल कलाम जी के निधन के समाचार पूरे देश के लिए और विश्व की वैज्ञानिक आलम के लिए एक बहुत ही दुखद समाचार है.
He came, he saw, he conquered a billion hearts and inspired a generation of Indians. The people's president, APJ Abdul Kalam, was laid to rest with full state honours in his hometown of Rameshwaram. Good evening and thanks for joining us in India Business Hour. I'm Nayantara Rai and Kritika Saxena joining us from our Mumbai studio.
Hi, Nantara. In fact, it was heartening to see leaders from across the political spectrum come together today to pay their last respects to Dr. Abdul Kalam. More on that coming up later, but first, the day's trading action. No expiry test today on the Wall Street as bulls maintain the winning momentum. So the Nifty surged nearly 50 points to climb back above that 8,400 mark. The Sensex rallied over 140 points to move closer to the 28,000 level. Mid-caps outperformed the blue chips once again today, with the index gaining close to 1%. But moving away from the markets, the monsoon session of Parliament continues to get washed out. The Lok Sabha was adjourned soon after it was convened today. The Rajya Sabha saw Home Minister Rajnath Singh making a statement on the terror attack in Punjab, but his statement was drowned out by sloganeering by opposition parties. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley slammed the opposition for not allowing a discussion on the Gurdaspur attack. He also attacked the Congress for playing politics over the hanging of the 1993 Mumbai blast convict Yaqub Memon today.
The irresponsible statements which have come from some of the Congress party leaders with regard to the punishment given to the principal accused of the 1993 Mumbai blast also raises a cause of concern. We therefore expect the Congress President, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, to clarify before the whole country as to why its party is not permitting a discussion in India's parliament on the issue of national security.
The Finance Minister asking Sonia Gandhi to answer to the nation on why Parliament has been paralysed, and he's certainly hoping some work will be transacted tomorrow as he plans to table the supplementary demand for grants. And part of that, of course, is a mega plan to revive PSU banks, which is very much in the making, that will be tabled in Parliament tomorrow. And confirming all of that and speaking exclusively to Sanjay Pugalia today, the Minister of State for Finance, Jayant Sinha, revealed the centre is going beyond recapitalisation to help revive the ailing PSBs.
जो कैपिटलाइजेशन पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स का होगा, जो हम लोग पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स को जो हम लोग धनराशि देंगे, वो आपकी धनराशि यानी टैक्स पेयर्स का पैसा है। तो आप कहेंगे कि भाई ठीक है, हम लोगों ने बैंकों को तो ये पैसा दिया, पर हमें इसके साथ मिला है ना, तो वो एक अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी हमें साथ साथ एक जवाबदेही भी हम लोगों को चाहिए बैंकों से कि अगर हम उनको और पैसा दे रहे हैं तो ये जो प्रॉब्लम्स हुई हैं, जो समस्याएं जो आई हैं हमारे पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स की, वो फिर से ना, यानी कि एक सिस्टेमिक जड़ से हम लोगों को इसका हम लोगों का समाधान करना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए हम लोग एक पूरे कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पैकेज को तैयार कर रहे हैं, सिर्फ कैपिटल नहीं। मीडिया में तो हाँ सब लोग यही पूछना चाहते हैं कि भाई कैपिटल आपने कितना दिया, परंतु हम लोग सिर्फ
अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी
एक अकाउंटेबिलिटी, एक ऑपरेटिंग इम्प्रूवमेंट्स, गवर्नेंस रिफॉर्म, एनपीए मैनेजमेंट, इन सब विषयों पे हम लोगों ने एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पैकेज बनाया।
That's the game plan to revive the PSBs and also to make them accountable. Sapna Das are joining us with more as far as this story goes. Sapna, like I was saying, we understand the Finance Minister is going to seek the Parliament's approval for recapitalization tomorrow. We do understand the full package is for $3 billion. It's going to be spread over tranches. Do we know the size of the first tranche?
Well, no concrete figures available as of now. But the game plan here is pretty much clear. Basically, the roadmap to be announced as early as tomorrow, probably in the Parliament, if the Parliament is able to function smoothly. That's one. And this is going to be a 4-year roadmap. If you could recall, the Cabinet a couple of months back had actually already vetted the recapitalization plan for public sector banks, which involved not only capital infusion from the government side, but also had directions of what else banks can do in terms of raising capital from the markets over a 4-year period. So obviously this is going to be staggered. So that could also, see some kind of announcement tomorrow, some kind of clarity may emerge tomorrow. And immediately, in terms of the supplementary that's going to be tabled by the Finance Minister tomorrow, again, if the Parliament functions smoothly, would actually speak about the first tranche of additional funds being made available for PSU banks. We are aware of the fact the budget already has an allocation of close to 8,000 crores, 7,990 CR to be precise. So something more could be announced tomorrow. A Parliament not required for that. There is also an indication that the next tranche may come sometime in the second half of the financial year. That is basically at the time of the winter session of Parliament. There could be another supplementary to make the funds available. We do understand a couple of days back the signal that we had gathered from Finance Ministry was the fact that PSU banks have demanded an additional 12,000 crores. Now it remains to be seen whether this amount will come through tomorrow in the first supplementary itself, or whether the amount is going to be staggered. Those dynamics are something that we'll have to wait for the details tomorrow.
Right. Suspense is going to end tomorrow. We know $3 billion is the full package. How much of that is going to be in the first tranche? That is what Arun Jaitley wants to table in the floor of Parliament and hopes it will go through. Thanks, Al Sapna, for joining us with those details. Besides the supplementary grant for demand for grants, the other thing the government is hoping to do is to push through the GST bill. The Minister of State for Finance, Jayant Sinha, says he's confident the goods and services tax will be rolled out as per schedule, since only one party is isolated.
प्रश्न हमें ये पूछना चाहिए कि जो जीएसटी बिल जो आज जो हमने उसको रूप दिया है, इज इट गुड इनफ? और कई सारे आपको विशेषज्ञ बताएंगे कि इट इज गुड इनफ, यानी कि आज के समय जो बिल तैयार है वो आज के हालातों से इतना उसमें सुधार ला सकता है, इतना उसमें और बेहतर बना सकता है कि हमें जरूर करना चाहिए. हाँ ठीक है, परफेक्ट कोई चीज हो सकती है, पर परफेक्ट के लिए हम लोग ये थोड़ा ना कि 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल 4 साल और अपने को हानि देते रहें. तो आज के समय जो बिल तैयार हो चुका है, जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट हम लोग जिसको पेश करने वाले हैं, उसमें सब लोगों की सहमति बन गई है. सिर्फ विपक्ष में एक विरोधी हैं जो नहीं चाह रहे हैं. अब किस लिए नहीं चाह रहे हैं वो तो आप ही बता सकते हैं, मैं तो नहीं बता सकता हूं. क्योंकि अगर हम लोग देखें कि जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट को, बिजनेस को, व्यापार को, व्यवसायों को कितना इसमें से लाभ मिल सकता है और देश को कितना लाभ मिल सकता है, तो ये सोच कि इस समय रोक दें क्योंकि कोई हम परफेक्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट की खोज में है, वो तो मैं सोचता हूं कि ये बिल्कुल भ्रष्ट बुद्धि है.
Well, but amid all the chaos in Parliament, the parliamentary panel on the real estate regulator bill has submitted its report finally. Speaking exclusively to Rituparna Bhuyan, the chief of the panel and BJP MP Anil Dave said that the bill will not hamper investments in the sector. He in fact believes that the new regulators will promote good builders and crack down on fly-by-night operators.
Right. If there is no regulation, then nothing will happen. Right. And eventually it will be the consumer who will be suffering the whole things. Right. And at the same time, who is a good builders? Those who are really putting their money, those who are really putting their management skills and efforts, they will be hampered. Right. That's why it is this bill will help to grow the good builders, and at the same time fly-by-nights builders, you have nothing, no role, no employment, start brokering, become a broker. No, sir. One should be a broker with a technical background, and one should be responsible for that.
How many changes have been proposed, sir, overall? How many amendments have been proposed in the report that you have presented today?
In fact, whatever we got and we found that it is necessary and it should be done, that we have done it. So eventually it is somewhere 15-20 changes are there.
So two very interesting changes that we noted are the fact that first is regarding the escrow account, where the minimum amount will be 50%, and to withdraw that amount it has to be vetted by a engineer or a chartered analyst. The other thing that we understand that is in the report is the fact that in penal interest will be equal for both the builder as well as the LOT. If you can just explain to us the logic behind these changes.
In fact, what normally happened, not always, but people, those who collect money, they siphon that money to other projects. That's why we have secured this thing that no, construction for that project, construction amount should be secured. For that only we have kept this account.
All right, the other big story today, you heard it first on CNBC TV 18, and now it's been confirmed by the Department of Industrial Promotion and Policy. In its new notification, the FDI composite policy will bring some cheer for certain sectors, while for some other sector, it's going to be business as usual. Rituparna Bhuyan joins in now with all the details. Ritu, which are the sectors who stand to gain from the new policy, and for which sectors has it been left unchanged?
the principle that has been followed regarding the composite FDI policy, which has been released through a press note today, is that FIIs can now go up to the sectoral limit, and this has implications. And we had reported in CNBC TV18 how these implications could pan out, and this has been confirmed by the DIPP today. Firstly, retail, pension and insurance. In these sectors, 49%, up to 49%, FIIs can come through the auto route. It does not need to go through the FIPB. That is one. Brownfield pharma, where 100% FDI is allowed through the government route. Here, 49% FII can again come in through the auto route. Brownfield airports, here up to 100% FDI is allowed, but because of the new changes now, the implication is that in brownfield airports, up to 74%, the FIIs can come in through the automatic route. Titanium mining, infra companies in the securities market, power exchanges in all these sectors, 49% FII can now come in through the automatic route, but there is a rider, and that is when FIIs put in money in these sectors, if there is a change in ownership and control, then in such cases FIPB approval will have to be taken. Having said that, there are two sectors where these conditions will not apply, and these are basically banking and defense. The subsectoral limits remain the same, so bad news for defense and banking, but for the other sectors, the DIPP believes that it's a path-breaking policy that has been put in place, and the companies will now have a bouquet of options as far as investment investment instruments are concerned with that respect.
Thanks a lot, Ritu, for joining us with all of those details. That's a much needed clarification that was needed from the DIPP. Of course, we'd already told you about that right here on this channel. And here, the CNBC TV18 exclusive, the Tourism Minister Mahesh Sharma has done a U-turn by categorically ruling out a stake sale in Indian Tourism Development Corporation, or the ITDC. The Disinvestment Department was hoping to sell 12% stake in that company. I did catch up with him earlier in the day, and Sharma made another U-turn. He said there would be no outright auction of 8 loss-making hotels. There's an excerpt of that conversation.
We also feel, and the Honorable Prime Minister also feels, that all such units which are not doing good for long times, they needs to be relooked. And for the relooking, we have different options. Like we have identified out of our hotels, 8 hotels in the first phase, to disinvest in one form or other. It could be a joint venture, it could be a PPP mode, it could be a lease basis, or we'll take opinion of the disinvestment department. Then they can guide us that what could be done, and we love to do it in a totally transparent manner, which gives us the best revenue to the government, and of course the hotels also goes in the right hands, so that the properties are being properly utilized.
So earlier this week I had interviewed the Disinvestment Secretary, Ms. Aradhana Johri. She seemed to indicate they have not heard back yet from the Tourism Ministry as far as this disinvestment goes. Can she count on you for this kind of disinvestment this year?
She's right, and very shortly we are preparing at our end the complete inputs and details which we have to give to Disinvestment Secretary, and very shortly we'll be giving this to the Disinvestment Department. Could it be a mixture, like some be outright sales, some be management contract? Oh yes, we'll take it as a case-to-case basis, not taking as in one approach. Different hotels will be taken with a different mode. So something else, the Disinvestment Department has actually also counting on divesting stake in ITDC. Are you on board with that? Because again, Ms. Johri says she's not heard back. ITDC disinvestment is not on our radar now. Maybe at later stage, but not at present. So that is officially out of the list? Yes, at present it is not on. So would you like to tell us why? Because it is also loss-making. ITDC as a whole, once our hotels comes into profits and all those things, then definitely we have to have, till our all hotels are being disposed of or disinvested, then definitely we'll take care about the ITDC, but not at present, because ITDC had to do this exercise of doing this holistic approach to revamp the hotel industry and under ITDC care. It would be interesting to see what happens next. We do understand from our sources in the Finance Ministry there's already cabinet approval to sell 12% stake in ITDC, which could fetch the central exchequer almost 2,000 crore rupees.
And here's the other big story of tonight. 24 hours before appearing in front of a parliamentary panel on call drops, telecom companies have thrown in the towel. They are blaming the shutting down of towers across India for this problem. A report by industry body AstraCham quotes the telecom regulators' numbers and claims Delhi and Mumbai are the worst affected metros, with more than 500 towers in Delhi and more than 800 in Mumbai being shut down in the last 6 months, with as many as 25 towers being shut down every week in Mumbai. This report claims these shutdowns affect at least 700 or more consumers who are usually assigned to an individual tower, and also disrupts other towers in the vicinity. The report goes on to laud the Telecom Department's efforts at ensuring the telecom towers can be set up on top of government buildings, which it claims will go a long way in resolving the situation. But of course, let's not forget, a lot of those towers are considered to be health hazards. The Director General of the Cellular Operators Association of India, Rajan Matthews, says his hands are tied unless they are allowed to set up more towers. CNBC TV 18's Shireen Bahan began the conversation by Rajan Matthews by asking him how the centre has been tackling this very problem.
Responsibility of the central government is to do exactly what the Honourable Minister has said. Listen, let's adopt a clear-cut understanding that this is a central matter, that it comes under the Telegraph Act, that Section 7 says specifically that they have the right to put... So you cannot object to the electricity company coming and putting a tower right next to your house.
How much of the problem today is on account of towers not being available?
I think the greater majority, a good 70 to 80% of this problem comes from the lack of cell towers, because that is the fundamental coverage issue.
How many have you had to shut down over the last few months?
In Delhi, 186. In Mumbai, close to 90. All right? And I can't get the new cell towers that I need. Just let's take Luton's Delhi. I should have been able to put up over 250 towers to deal with the increase in the demand. I'm stuck at 200 plus in Luton's Delhi, all right? You know what the challenges are there, all right? And look at Noida.
So it's only a question of permissions not being granted?
Yes, timely permissions. From the time that we get all clear from all of the departments, it takes us 9 months to a year. So even if I gave you a magic pill which says your problems are solved today in terms of being able to get you the requisite number of towers, it will take us 9 months to a year to begin to address this whole issue, because that's how long it takes for us to get the permissions to construct and to put these towers in place.
So are you bracing yourselves now to pay the penalty that the government has said that it will force you to pay to improve the quality standards?
So I don't think we need penalties to solve the problems. We are well aware of it.
That's what the government is saying.
So if the government is saying penalties, of course, those are things that we will have to discuss, because that's not the solution to the problem. It really exacerbates the problem, because you're going to take away more resources from us to be able to solve the problem. We've identified the problem. We have identified the issues. The government says we're going to help you guys. We're saying is that let's work together to get there. If there is some shortcoming that's found, TRAI should look at those types of things and say if there's any fault in terms of the operators being kind of negligent, fine, let's take a look at that.
So what has the response been? Because this issue of cell towers is not a new issue, Rajan.
So yes, but let me just put this into context, Shireen. All right, every month, all right, we put on about 5 million new subscribers net. All right, in 2 months, that is the total population of the Scandinavian countries. That means in every 2 months, I've got to build out almost the equivalent of what Sweden and Norway and all of these companies have today. All right, that's no trivial task.
All right, moving on to earnings corner then. The first quarter for the newly enlarged Kotak Mahindra Bank has been a tough one. Standalone net profits have fallen a sharp 54%. So, higher provisions and the spike in bad loans belonging mainly to ING Vysya Bank have offset any help that could have come from a 59% jump otherwise seen in net interest income. CNBC TV 18's Ritu Singh has the details.
For Uday Kotak, creating the country's fourth largest bank is turning out to be a painful exercise. The first quarter after Kotak Mahindra Bank's integration with ING Vysya saw standalone net profits plunge over 55% from levels seen a year ago. Remember, standalone business includes only the combined banking operations of Kotak and ING. Also, since this is the first quarter where ING numbers are included, the numbers are not comparable. Kotak says this pain from the integration process will last through the year.
A significant amount of the provisioning requirements of the combined company are behind us. Between July and March, we expect incremental credit costs of about 50 basis points on the combined balance sheet.
Uday Kotak has identified 4 main reasons for this excruciating pain. 1. Retirement benefits to employees of the erstwhile ING Vaishya Bank. 2. Integration costs. 3. The payment of additional interest on savings accounts of the erstwhile ING. And 4. And easily the most painful, provisions and contingencies jumping to 305 crore rupees from 67 crores in the previous quarter and 14 crores a year ago. This has wiped out a lot of the support from the 59% spike in net interest income and a 48% jump in other income. Net interest margins contracted to 4.18% from 5% a year ago, but this was widely expected. Where the merger has really hurt is on the asset quality front, with most of the weakness coming from ING's books. In this, Kotak is taking curative measures.
What we found, or we believe, were the stress assets of ING Vaishya. We've put them and created a separate, what we call bad bank. Yeah? And we made it part of our asset reconstruction business. So roughly it is about, I'd say about 6% of what their assets were. And if you look at our combined book, it's about 2.5% of our combined book.
But Uday Kotak is confident that the integration with ING will bring in more synergies over time, helping the bank hit a higher growth trajectory. In Mumbai, Ritu Singh.
Moving on, first Airtel, then Star India and then Micromax. The e-commerce major has now bagged the rights for the title sponsorship of all cricket matches that will be played in India for the next 4 years. The online wallet app Paytm will have to shell out a whopping 203 crore rupees, which gives it the right to plaster its brand on all cricket grounds for the 84 matches that will be played in the country across 4 years. This is actually not the first time that Paytm has tied up with the world's richest cricketing body, with the e-commerce major already bagging the on-air sponsorship for the Indian Premier League. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, founder and CEO of Paytm, joins us now. Our colleague Pavni Mittal will join you for the interview. Pavni, take it away.
Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma joins us from Italy. He's actually there on holiday. So thank you so much. Could you first tell me why did you come on board and what is the return on investment that you're expecting from this sponsorship?
Basically, in India, cricket is by far the biggest media property that you can associate with. We are a very young, very strong, emerging brand. And for us, it fits in perfectly well with our brand values of hard work, teamwork, dedication. It also, we have a younger bias in our set of users, and amongst the youngsters, cricket is by far the most popular property that you can associate with. We want to establish ourselves even more as the dominant mobile commerce company in the country. And this association will definitely help in establishing us much more in this space.
You know, Star India is pumping in a lot of money. It's the broadcaster, it's also the Team India sponsor. So do you think Paytm will have to work harder to establish its brand?
No, I really don't think that should be an issue at all. Okay, for us, it's the first ever association with cricket at the BCCI level. So everyone is very excited. The BCCI has welcomed us into their family. And I think we'll have a fantastic working relationship going forward.
So do you think that the IPL crisis will hurt your image? I mean, you are the title sponsor for all BCCI matches for the next 4 years.
Yeah. See, cricket has, these are obviously, these are short-term hiccups. And I think the overall, the popularity and the admiration for the sport continues unabated. There are small short-term issues and hiccups which will be sorted out as we go along. Our association is a long-term association over the next 4 years. I think at the end of it, cricket will emerge. It's good for the game in a way because I think it will emerge far cleaner, far stronger. And a clean game is good because it attracts more and more fans. So I think these are minor issues which will get sorted out over the next couple of months.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mr. Sharma. With that, it's over to you guys.
Well, you have to hand it to them. It's pretty impressive. BCCI has managed to back such a big sponsor at a time cricket is going through such murky times, especially post that Supreme Court verdict in the IPL fiasco. With that, we have to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.